Hello there, welcome back to Darshan Dev. This is our fourth video on getting started with Django series. So, in the last video, we studied how to make our create view, and in the previous videos we have also studied how to make our list view, which is our home view, and our detail view. So these two views comprise of our read, this view comprises of our create, and now in this video we are going to see our update views, where we are going to update our item, and here we are going to delete our item. So for the update view, we are going to define update view, and for this update view you need to know that this is a kind of detail view. So when you want to update an item, you need to get it from the database and you update a specific item. We don't perform bulk updates like update all of the items, right? We want to update a single item, so we give an ID to get the item from the database, and then with the help of that ID we get that item and then we update it. And to get this ID we do a similar configuration like we did it with detail view. So we'll just copy this detail view URL configuration and paste it here. It will be very similar, like instead of detail we will have update here, and here we'll have update, and even here we will have update. Replace all of the names and then import your update view and save it. So just like in detail we are taking in an integer with the name of ID, here also we are taking in an integer with the name of ID, and that ID is passed in here. So now we need to get that object which we want to update. That will be obj object, and here we are going to use a simple shortcut. So what happens if the object is not there, if it does not exist? We don't want to do such kind of error handlings like try, except, blocks, and this will get much more complex if your app progresses into something big. So we need to implement some shortcuts. A shortcut like get object of 404. So basically it will try to get the object from the database. If it does not get the object, it will give a 404. So simply you have to type get object of 404, and here you need to give the first argument, that's the model name, that is item, and the second argument will be our ID, so or anything that we want to match. So it will be ID equals ID, which is the ID we pass in from here, from the URL. So now we have got our item, which is our object. Now we need a form in our update view. So how do we make an update view? We have a form, right? And in that form the data which already exists in that item is pre-filled, and that pre-filled data we can change it, and then when we click save or submit, the new data which we have edited goes to the database and it is saved. So that's how an update view works. So we need to create a form which is already filled. To do that, we create an instance of our item form and we pass in our request.post, and one more additional argument is needed here because we need to fill in the data beforehand, that is instance. Our instance will be obj, the object that we got from the database. Okay, so this will pre-fill our form with the data from that object. But first of all we need to check if the request is post or not. If request dot method request dot method is post, then this. So now we have pre-filled our form with the data. Then we can edit it in the HTML that we create, which will be update.html. But now, after we have submitted the form, what do? We check if the form is valid. So what we do here is, if form dot is valid, then form dot save. That is it. Now if the form is not valid, it will return a redirect to the same view, which is update view. So if the form is not valid, we return a redirect to the same view, which will reload the page. But if the form is valid, then what do? We return a redirect to the detail view, which is pretty much common sense. Like if we update some data in an item, then we want to see the updated data, right? So we return the redirect to detail view. And after we have returned the redirect, we give it something of an additional argument, which is a keyword argument, that is id equals id. This is the way you give arguments while you use redirect, because detail view needs an id, so we give that id from here. And now if our request method is not post, then we handle it here. If our request method is not post, then our form will be item form, which will be empty, and then we'll have context in which we'll pass in the form, and then we'll return a render of update.html. Now that's it. Hey, but there remains one change we need to make. We need to take this here. Yeah, now it's right. So if the request method is post, then we fill in the data from the post into the item form, and the instance is going to be our object. And if the form is valid, we save it and return our redirect to the detail view. And if it's not valid, we just return redirect to the same view, which is update view. And if the request is not post, like if it is the first request made to our update URL, then our form will be an empty item form, and our context will just have form and form. Yeah, now it works. We save it. So now we go to our browser and check it. So everything has been saved. We go here to update. Keyboard quantity is 100. We'll update it. Update /1. It should give us our keyboard data. Oh, but we have not created our template. Such a mistake. Just go to your templates. Create update.html. It's going to be pretty similar to that detail.html, but we don't need to copy. We can create it very fast. We can just type item update, and then we need to create a form with a method of post. And also remember, it should have a button of submit, which should give update item as a text, and then we'll have a CSRF token. That's important, because without it, it won't accept the form. What do we do after this? We just display our form, and our our template variable is I think it is form. Yeah, it is form. So we just save it and then we refresh it. Okay, but we don't get the data through. There's some error. We go to our views.py and why is not the data coming through? Yeah, now in this get request area, this is our get request area. Okay, here we handle our get requests, and here we handle our post request. And in the get request area, here you see form is item form and no data is passed in here because we don't have the post, because the form is not yet posted. We are just requesting the form, empty form. But the form should not be empty, it should have an instance. Anyways, it should have an instance, and the instance should be object, just the same as above. We give instance equals object and then we save it, and now we can expect to get back data from our database. It's reloading. Wait for a while, go here. I think now it will give us our data. Oh, it's yeah, we get it. So update 1, it gives us keyboard 100. So what do? We make it 1 2 3 4 update item. I will go to our home here and check if the data has been updated there. Let's go to /home. Yeah, see here, keyboard quantity 1 2 3 4, and now we'll update our mouse. Mouse should be 5000 instead of 500. Okay, and right now it is 500. Now we'll go to update /2. Update /2 will give you, okay, we'll add one more 0 here and then update. So it gives detail of 2, mouse quantity 5000. Now it gives you 500. After we refresh it, it should give us 5000. So that's how we create our update view. Now before further moving on to our detail view, there is one major development that we can do here. Instead of checking if the request is post or request is get, we can do a thing that will save us a lot of code and lot of complexity. So we just remove this. Pay close attention. This is really important. So we don't check if it is a post request or anything. Okay, this first line is important. We need this one, and we shift tab this one. So our form is item form and we pass in request.post, but if it is not post, then what? Then we can do or none. And if it is not post, if it is get, then it will be none, which means it will be empty, and that's it. So this single word or a couple of words can replace all of the code that we remove now. So our form is item form request.post or none, which means that it will handle both post requests and get requests. So if it's a get request and our request doesn't have a post component, then it will have none here. So it does not matter if we get a post request or a get request, it will handle both of them. And if the form is valid, then our form will be saved and we will return the redirect to our detail view just like we did there. And if it is not valid, then we will just perform a refresh, which is returning and redirecting to the same view. And finally we have a context here, and inside that we pass the form and render our update.html, and that's how it goes. So that was a major refactoring of our code. We save our code and it should work just as fine as before. So now we will update our book. Book is 1 2 3 4. We'll do it 9999. So go to update, and what's it the book? Book is I think 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. the 10th item. Oh, the item does not match. How is it possible? Let's try 9th item. Let's try 5th item. Oh, there's some problem. No reverse match at update/file. Update view with no arguments not found. Okay. Return redirect update view. Update view. Yeah. We need to handle this. I mean, update view. Here we need to pass ID. ID equals ID. So if we are performing the refresh, we can't just perform a refresh. We need to give in the ID. So we do update 5. So finally we got it to work. So the problem was here. After we refactored the code, there were 2 redirects. So we don't need this second one, because if the form is not valid, eventually this will re-render update.html by itself. So just remove this line. Okay, I have just commented it out for you to see what was wrong with it. Now we have saved it, and it works just as fine as before. We reload the page, and like if we do it 1 2 3 4 5, update it, and refresh, you can see here it should be 1 2 3 4 5. So this is how our update view works, and it is really refactored, and now I can feel good about it. Now we move on to our delete view. Our delete view also takes in an ID, our request, and it takes now request and ID. It's going to be just the same as update view, so you can just simply copy it and paste it, and change a few things here and there. So now we have imported our delete view, and then we need to save it. Now we have saved it. Now we need to do the same thing. We need to get an object, so we can copy it from here. Our object is get object of 404, item ID equals ID. So now we have got the object, or it's a 404. Now if the object exists, then what we need to do is simply perform this operation, object dot delete. That's it. And after that we need to return our redirect to our home view, because we can't do a redirect to detail view, and after the object is deleted there would be no detail view for the object, right? So return a redirect to home view, and that's it. We save it. Okay, now it's working. Now we hope that if we go here and perform a detail operation and delete operation on eraser, we want to remove eraser from here. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, the 8th item. I wish I had added numbers there. So delete 8th item. Why are we not able to find the query? If we delete 15th item, oh, it's been deleted. Which was the 15th item? I think we have some problems here. So to resolve them, we are just going to go to our models and return self.id also along with it. After we return self.id, we will just know what is the number of the item that we want to delete. Now I've saved it. Let's go over there and see. Okay, so this is the way it works. I think I had created a few items and deleted them before. That's the reason it's this way. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Then we don't have 7 8 9 or 10. We have 11 12 13 14 and 15th one we have deleted. I don't remember what it was, but it has been deleted. Now to assure you that it works, we will go and delete our eraser, which is 12. Okay, we go here, delete 12, and now 12 is gone. Eraser is gone. That's how it works. Now we delete one more thing. We will delete our door. Our door is 13. Let's delete it. It's gone. Now that's how our my tongue just slipped. Our delete view works. Congratulations, you have your first CRUD application based on Django. So we go to our views.py now and check a few things out. So we have our home view, which is our list view, our detail view, and both of these comprise of our read operations here. And then we have our create view, which is our C. Then we have our update and delete views down here, which we have made just in our today's video, and that completes our CRUD. Now that we can create, read, update and delete, our complete application is you can say in a sense completed. So what's the next thing that we're going to do? The thing that remains now is a bit of refactoring of our code. Like Django is based on modular components, so this app should have everything that it needs. Now its URLs are in this project, so in the next video we'll move them into the shopping list app and then do a bit of refactoring in our templates too. So inside our templates we will have things like create form right here, or a create button, and then we will have update and delete buttons for each and every item in the list, so that will make it really easier. So our fifth video is going to be about refactoring our code, which will make our application which will give our application the final touches that it needs, and then we will be done with the basic CRUD application of our Django. Finally, our Django CRUD application is done. Here we have our read views, which are our home view and detail view. Our home view is essentially our list view, so both of these comprise of our read. Here we have our create view, which we created in the last video, and here we have our update and delete views, which we just created in this video. So our CRUD is completely complete. So we have C, R, U and D, everything is done. So what remains? Now we need to refactor a bit of our code. So in the next video we are going to do that. Django is based on this modularity. Like urls.py should not be in the project directory of something. This should be in its own file in our app itself, in the shopping list app, not in the Django shopping list project urls.py. This file just should link to that file. So we will have added modularity in the next video, and also will add some final really cherry on the top kind of things. Like we'll have a create button here, then we'll have update and delete buttons for each and every item on this list, so that it will be really easy to navigate. It won't be like you have to type everything in here. So it will be really like a finished product application. Okay, and then this won't stop here. We'll move on to much more complex Django applications, and also then we'll move on to HTML, CSS and JavaScript, also React. All of these videos and this series will be coming. So to stay tuned, please do subscribe and click the bell icon so that you'll be notified each and every time I upload a new video. And also, if you have any queries, questions or suggestions, please drop them in the comments below. It will be really appreciated. And also share this video with people you feel like they will benefit from it. That will be really helpful for the growth of our channel. So stay tuned with me. Bye bye.